While a lot of people are looking at the best and the worst watches of 2022, I wanted to do something. Okay, I wanted to do the same thing, just with a slightly different perspective. I wanted to look at the best watch brands to look out for in 2023 based on some of their notable releases last year. Now, this list is not in any specific order and not just covering mainstream brands, but also some independent brands. Make sure to subscribe and let's get on with the video. The first brand that I want to talk about is a brand that has released some watches that haven't gotten the same amount of love as they deserve, and that is Longines, specifically with their Hydro Conquest 39 and the Heritage Record chronograph. I always wanted to like Longines. It's known as one of the best value for money, not just in terms of the quality of the watch, but the proportions, the design, the modified ETA movement that gives you more power reserve than the competition. It's just unbeatable value for money. But there was always this one problem that I had with the brand. I just couldn't find my size. With the 41mm option, which is typically fine for my 6.3-inch wrist, the lug to lug of 50mm is just massive. It just hangs, right? And I don't like that. That's apparently a complaint that a lot of people were having, and they listened. They actually listened and released a 39mm version with a lug to lug of 47.75mm, almost the same size as the Black Bay 58. And while the price tag is around $1,700, you can typically get 15 to 20% discount from the official AD. A true tool, an elegant tool watch with 300 meters of water resistance and one of the oldest watchmaker in the world. And the other watch that I absolutely love from Longines this year is the Heritage Record chronograph. Now, this watch, I'm not even sure if you will have realized this watch, the existence of this watch, because it wasn't talked about. It was just missed. And I have seen the competition. I have seen the Tissot with their new chronographs, but there's just something about the perfection of design, the design language, like every single angle, the curvature of the lugs, the combination of finishing textures on the case, everything is just so perfectly done. Honestly, when I just put it on, I just didn't want to let go of it. That's how much I loved it, and that's not something that happens to me that often. The next brand is around the same, generally the same price point as Longines, and it is one of those brands that I feel in the recent years it has gained astronomical popularity. A brand that was just considered a micro brand to one of the most sought after independent brands right now, and that is Christopher Ward. The thing about Christopher Ward watches is that when you look at the collection, when you look at the Sealander or the Trident, I just can't decide which one I like more because I love all of them. All of their watches look so good. That's how well thought every single watch is. There's a difference between an independent brand being able to provide value for money versus a heritage brand. They're not in the same playing field as these heritage traditional brands. Just look at the Belcanto. You're getting almost a hierology level of complication for the price of a Tudor Black Bay 58. That's just insane. I feel like they don't care about profitability at this point, but they care about making that splash based on how fast that they're growing and how quickly their watches are getting sold out, and there's literally a waiting list on the Belcanto. Honestly, see them going way up market in the next few years. Now, this watch brand is not as popular as a lot of the other brands that I'm going to talk about, but I personally just think that this brand is just so cool. We have seen revivals. The only thing that's connecting them back to the heritage is the name, but everything else in terms of design DNA is completely different. Fears is not doing that. It knows that it has something special, and it is just evolving that into a bit more modernized way. I mean, just look at their recently released Brunswick 40. A lot of times when you see an everyday style watch, it's less elegant and more on the sportier side, more on the tool side. I feel like this can easily be dressed up and dressed down. And those three colorways, the white, I'm just in love with white dials these days. That white dial is amazing. And then we have the blue, which you just can't lose with that. And then even the pink. If I was to have just one pink watch, that would be it. It's not flamboyant, it's not loud, it's elegant. Around 3,750 pounds. You're getting a watch that is completely hand-built. And yes, the movement is not in-house. It is kind of taken apart and remade. They're taking a base movement and then personalizing it, updating it, modifying it to how they want. That is watchmaking. That is still impressive. If you're looking for a watch that is made and sold directly by a watchmaker, the only person I can think of, okay, no, I can think of two. One is F.P. Journe, other one is Roger Smith, who was the student of George Daniels. But this is another level of difficulty to be able to attain these watches. What if I told you that there is a new watchmaker? His entire goal is to provide handmade watches at attainable prices. That's his passion, being able to give that experience. And this brand, you may have heard if you follow Swiss watch gang, Felipe Pikullik. You can find Felipe Pikullik watch starting at just around $2,000 and up. And when I say up, I significantly higher. I mean, apart from hand beveling and hand finishing all of the watches, including the dials, what he does is that he uses a base unitas movement and then completely rebuilds it beyond recognition. The cool thing about the FPSK skeleton is that he only produces 5 watches per year. On number 5, we have Alexander Shorokhoff. It's just one of those pieces that when you walk into the room wearing this watch, no one's gonna have anything like this. And no one can, because there are only 88 pieces of this model and an approximate price of $1,800. So this watch uses a Sellita SW200 movement, but it's not just an off-the-shelf movement that's just placed inside this watch. It's actually hand engraved by the brand in-house. And the level of artistic expressionism that's going on with this watch, the emotions that it's invoking, it is a piece of art. I feel that this brand is very, very underrated, and the watches might not be for everybody. Let's get that out of the way. But it is one of the most unique watches that you can find at this price point. There's no an affordable alternative to this brand. There's nothing else like that in terms of design. All right, so now we are coming to the last watch, a watch that I discovered on About Effing Time. And you know that whenever these guys, when they talk about a watch, there's something special about that watch. And that is the most affordable watch in this entire list. Less than $200. It's called Blok. All of the recent innovations, what are they? They've all been about evolution. They've all been about improvement. We have not seen problem solving for a very long time. And one problem has never been addressed. Children's watches. What have you? What are the options? Baby G. And then you have some disposable watches like Swatch and Flick Flack. That Ben 10 watch is really cool. The guys at Blok realize that kids are not able to determine the passage of time. It's not just a robust watch with 100 meters of water resistance that will last you decades. It's actually a watch that teaches, that educates. It's literally a tool watch for kids. Nobody has done that. They're doing it at less than $200. It's just so mind-boggling. Thanks for watching. Again, Happy New Year. Have a good one and God bless. Take care.